Hello everybody, it's Henry. So my coffee shop talk today will be about Sam's Club. I had a good experience at Sam's. I got some time while I'm driving and take my car in and get serviced. And we met this young gentleman at Sam's. My wife wanted to have a translator put on her phone and understand how to use it because she has a person that's from Puerto Rico and she speaks Spanish. And sometimes it's not good English, sometimes it is. But it's hard on the phone for my wife, so he showed us how to do this. This guy is young. This young man's name was Metteo. Nice gentleman, young, got a lot of experience with telephones and computers. We really had a good discussion, and we were just talking about life, and I don't know how it is, but it always gets into, I always had this mindset, I want to help somebody do better financially. And we just started talking about this and that. Young man, probably 22, I think he was also, right? Very open, very receptive, and saw how we looked, and we just started talking about cars. Oh, I know it was about cars. This is how we got into finances. So it went from cars. So my wife says, what kind of car do you like? He goes, well, one day I have a dream. I'm going to have a Porsche. And then one day he says, I want to have a Porsche. And me and my wife looked at each other and we kind of laughed and giggled a little bit. He goes, what? I says, we both own Porsches. We have two. He's like, no way. He says, how'd you do that? I said, well, I'll take time and spend it with you, and did it. So we spent about 40 minutes. And I talked about finances, how to put money aside, how to buy the Porsche, how to look for the Porsche, how to spend money on a Porsche, how to have a Porsche. Told him how to invest it, how to open money markets, making money, invest your money. Take 10% of your income and put it in there. If more, do it. If not, told him what is important to buy, what's not important to buy. I told him to open a money market CD and label it Porsche. Put a time frame on it. Porsche 2030. And I said, that way, when you look at it, you know what that money's going for. Put the money in there, let it grow, and keep putting money in there. If you want a house, you want to do it with a house too. You put down a new house. Put a date you want to have the ability to obtain a new house. Watch the market. Be careful with the housing market. Be careful with the car market. I said, you either go buy a lease pre-owned by the dealership. You get a better deal on it. They take the hit on it. You don't pay as much for the car. Or you get a pre-owned through the Porsche dealer that's got more warranty on it. They are expensive to keep the maintenance up on it. A lot of the maintenance you can do yourself. You don't have to be afraid to take care of your own car. You just got to go get knowledge how to take care of your own car. So we took this time and I described it to him. I gave him my phone number. He texted me. I wrote back and I told him how to work with credit card and how to eliminate debt. Told him my trick and how I've done it. Texted it back to him and reminded him. He said he didn't think he'd remember everything. So I texted him that one blurb. Next thing is I text him on the CD and how to put money on it. I remind him how to do that. I told him, if there's anything in this discussion you got questions on, just text me and I'll text it back. This is a stranger. I didn't become friends with him. I became a person in life that wants to help him. And he said in that 40 minutes, I did more for him than school, college, and even his parents. The willingness of me that have been successful with my finances to help another person out, he will then help another person out. And I told him, do not take this information and do not keep it to yourself. Share this information, update the information, and give it to somebody else. He has a fiance. I said, work with her and help her too. If you guys are comfortable and you're meaning you're going to get married, combine your resources together in your bank account. You have to have one for yourself in the same bank. You have to have an account in your name and an account in her name. He said, why? I said, because when you have a partner, i.e. like I have my wife, or anybody has a significant partner, I'm not leaving out other things that go on in America, you have to have the account in their name. You have to protect the account that you don't steal from it, she don't steal from you, or they don't steal from you, you don't steal from them, right? You have to. And the reason you do that is that so people have the feeling they have equal power within the relationship. If a person in a relationship whatever you call that relationship, it has to have equal power in it. If it's just in one name, and always in one name, the person that you're sharing the equal ship to will feel left out. They'll feel that they've been cheated. They'll have this remorse that they're not in control. And you have to have that account in equalness by having them both in the names. And then you teach them how to put money in their account and teach them what you know and watch them be successful too. If it's 50-50 real relationship, then your spouse or your partner should have an account in their name and being equally built as yours are. I know because I do that with my current wife. I didn't do that with my first wife. We had a joint account, it was in my name, and it didn't feel equal. And then I could control the spending that she had and put me upside down in debt. So I had to fix myself. I got myself out of the relationship because it was just financially disturbing. There's much other deeper stuff involved in it. I don't even want to discuss that. That'll be another coffee shop for another day. But you got to have an account. And I told this young man, you get a significant other, you got to have an account. It's best to go joint now. Protect it where they can't just take your money out. You can't take their money out, right? But they feel equal in the partnership. That's the way the relationship has to be. It has to be. If that works and that is built that way, you'll find out your relationship will have less strain on it, mentally and physically. So take what I've taught you and what I've said to you and teach others. I said, don't keep this to yourself because I'm not. You don't need to go buy a book. You don't need to pay me anything. This is how I got successful. And it's for a person that's on the ground that had a $200 every 2-week income or less back in the 1980s and had a rent to pay was $200. He had $200 from basically that month to live on, plus raising a wife and a baby, right? And I know it was my choice. That's the other thing. I had people used to tell me, well, they didn't come in your sea bag. Sorry, they're not going to pay for that too. That's your choice. I got that, but I'm not going to tell you that. What I'm going to tell you to do is do things wisely. You're not at a financial status to spend money on an expensive car, then you don't buy the car. You don't have the money to start a family and have a child, then don't have the child. Plan it out, figure it out, set it down, make a plan. I didn't know back in the day how to sit down, plan it out, make a plan. I do now. I make plans and sit down and figure it out daily. And I've been more successful because of it. So I told Mr. Metteo this same thing. We had a good long talk. I gave him a lot of advice. I gave him a lot of tools. I planted a lot of seeds. And now on my phone when he texts me, I'm just going to keep watering it. Because I want him to be successful. And out of time, we'll have a friendship. You got to remember, he's 40 years plus younger than me. I've spent 40 years walking the path and putting my hand on the hot stove and burning myself. Figuring out the right way and the wrong way to go in life. Never used drugs, didn't need to. I already knew the consequences. Never really got into alcohol but a little few times, but I also knew the consequences. I knew that that was an oven that I didn't want to stick my hand on and get burned. Marriage, I learned a lot from my first one. I wish I had the knowledge now that I had back then. It'd probably still be carrying on a healthy relationship. But the relationship I got now is because of what I've learned from that one, which is actually a plus. Because the relationship I got now with my current wife is great. And I love her to death. And she's my equal partner in everything we do. I shared that with him. She shared a whole bunch of stuff with him too. And then we said goodbye, and he texted me, and I text him back, and I'm still giving the information, which I'll check again today on Sunday. Go out there. My point in this whole discussion in this coffee shop, go out there and find yourself a Metteo. Go out there and find yourself a Brian, a Susie, a Lucy, a Barbara, a Brenda, Alexandria. Doesn't matter. I can use all kinds of names. Go out there and find that young person. Share that information with them freely. Help them become better. Touch a soul that soul can be better and do what you do. And they can have a grateful life and they'll remember who you are. They may not know and remember my face directly, but they will know the word Henry. And the Henry will be synonymous, and I hope every other Henrys live up to what I do every day. Henry is the name of kings. I try to be the king of people at my level in life. And what I mean by my level of life is where I grew up, how I grew up. I didn't grow up rich. I grew up very poor, very undereducated. I'm in a modern America, and I do it very well, and I do it very well among others with college degrees. Young man didn't know I didn't have a college degree, and then when I explained to him that I had a 6th grade education with a GED, and I dropped out of school in my first semester, 11th year, that I was outcasted, shadowed, told I couldn't make it, wouldn't be this, wouldn't be that. And then he saw my cars, and I showed him a picture of my house. I showed him my bank account. And I told him, you don't need a college education to be a great person. You need the passion and the soul and the heart to be a great person. Love one another, want to help others, do good for others, and God will do good for you. I've had a great life. I do not regret anything I've done, where I've been, what I should have done differently. And I have a great life because I try to do great things for people so they can have a great life too. Was I always perfect? No. Did I make mistakes? Sure. Did I take a lot of risk? Yes. Were they all good? No. But what I try to do to make up for it is touch every young person out there and make their life better. That's my pitch for today on a Sunday. I've gotten 4 good coffee shops out. I just want to take time and clear my brain. It's like a computer. It's like information stored, and I don't know what to do with it. It's like locked in there in memories, and I just want to get it out to the public. So find yourself a Metteo and young person like him. Help them out and see the light and what they can do better in their life. Give them some guidance. The parents don't always have the information or have the experience, but you as a person that does, invest your time in that person and help that person make them better. All right? I want to say thank you. This is Henry out in his coffee shop talk. Have a great day.